On this vote, the yeas are 218 and the nays are 213.
House Republicans have passed a controversial new voting bill called the Save America Act. The bill cleared the House in a tight 218 to 213 vote, mostly along party lines. Now it heads to the Senate, where it faces serious resistance. This legislation would dramatically change how Americans register and vote in federal elections, and it's sparking a fierce political battle ahead of the 2026 midterms. In simple terms, the bill would require Americans to prove they are U.S. citizens with official documents before registering to vote. That means showing something like a valid U.S. passport, a certified birth certificate, or other approved citizenship documents. It would also require a valid photo ID to cast a ballot in federal elections. Right now, federal law already requires voters to be citizens, but people don't have to show physical proof. They sign a sworn statement instead. Republicans argue that's not enough. Supporters say the bill protects election integrity. They argue that even if voter fraud is rare, Americans need confidence that only citizens are voting. Republican lawmakers say this bill simply enforces existing law and closes loopholes. They also point out that many Americans already support voter ID requirements in polls. Democrats say this bill could make voting much harder for millions of Americans. Experts estimate that over 20 million voting-age citizens do not have easy access to proof of citizenship documents. Nearly half of Americans don't have a passport. Critics say this would especially affect low-income voters, elderly Americans, married women whose names changed, and people who don't have easy access to birth certificates. Even though Republicans control the Senate, they likely don't have the 60 votes needed to overcome a filibuster. Some GOP senators are considering alternative procedural tactics to push the bill forward. But as of now, its path to becoming law is uncertain.
Good evening, everybody. This is a very important night on the House floor. House Republicans tonight stood with the overwhelming majority of Americans who demand secure elections. Standing with me are some of the champions of this cause in the House and some of the leaders outside our chamber who've been working on this issue to ensure this integrity for quite some time, and this is a big achievement tonight. By voting for the Save America Act, House Republicans did exactly what the American people sent us here to do. It's promises made, promises kept. Ensuring the integrity of elections is an essential issue. It's essential to maintaining our constitutional republic, and everybody in this country seems to understand and agree to that. This is about a 90-10 issue in the polling, because all that we've done tonight in this simple piece of legislation is apply common sense. All this Save America Act does is it enhances the SAVE Act, which you've already passed twice before, which says that you have to have proof of citizenship before you register to vote in federal elections. The law already provides for that, but we need to ensure that it's enforced. And the second part of it, what we added tonight and what is part of the Save America Act is the second piece, the very common sense requirement that you have a photo ID if you're going to vote. So that's it. That's what the bill does. Proof of citizenship and photo ID to vote. Everyone in the country understands the necessity of that, understands how simple it is and how important it is. And the only people that oppose it are people who want to cheat our system, who want to participate in our elections illegally, unlawfully. And that's not fair to the American people and the citizens of this country. And so we had only one House Democrat participate with us tonight. This has become a bitter partisan fight, and it's madness to us. We can't quite understand what the rationale is for opposing a free and fair election. But they're going to have to explain this to the people. And they're going to have a hard time doing that. Now, this bill, having passed the House, will now go to the Senate. And we are encouraging all of our Senate Republican colleagues who believe in this just as we do to try to get this thing through the system, to pass it there. And we're hoping that some Democrats in the Senate will come to their senses and do the right thing for the people. Otherwise, they got a lot of explaining to do, as we say down in the South. This is something that is overdue. It's something that's common sense. It's something that comports with what the American people want. And there's really just one question. that would linger over all this now. Will Senate Democrats continue to cater to their extreme left-wing base, or are they going to finally join the overwhelming majority of Americans on this common sense reform? But I'll tell you this, once again, Republicans have demonstrated that we are the party of common sense. We are the party that's delivering exactly what the American people sent us here to do, and we will continue that. Got a lot of champions that you can hear from here shortly before we take a few questions, and I'm going to yield first to Chairman Brian Stile, who has worked really hard on this issue. Where is he at?
Right behind you, Mr.
Thank you,
Speaker.
sir.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. What an exciting day to have passed the Save America Act, moving forward two absolutely essential and important topics in election integrity. Making sure that it's only U.S. citizens who are voting in U.S. elections by ensuring that there's proof of citizenship at the time of registration. The other topic being photo identification. And as you watch the left push back against this, you realize how ridiculous their argument is. We were having a debate at committee on the topic of photo identification. I flew home to Wisconsin, went, grabbed a six-pack of beer. The clerk recognized me, said, "Hey, Brian, can I see your ID?" Said, "Sure." I opened up my wallet, handed my wallet, he checked it. He allowed me to buy a six-pack of beer. I just think it's absolutely nuts that we protect our beer more than our ballots in jurisdictions across this country. The legislation today is a meaningful and real step forward in election integrity to make sure that it's only American citizens who are voting and that the people are who they say they are who come to the polls. So I appreciate the work of the leadership, our outside friends who are with us today, and it's my great pleasure to now yield to the author of the bill, my good friend, Chip Roy.
Well, only a man from Wisconsin being here talking about protecting his beer, right? It's like, look, and I'm for that, by the way. To be on the record, I'm for protecting your beer. Look, it is an honor to be here. I just think this is a great reflection of the team that is the Republican conference in the House and what we're doing to work together to deliver for the American people. They sent us here to do what we said we would do. It's a pretty simple task. The president talks about common sense. This piece of legislation is simple common sense. There's a reason that it is polling at astronomical levels, no matter which party you're in, no matter what race or background you have, whether you're urban or rural, whether you're black or white, Hispanic, whether you're male or female, it's polling at 80, 85, 90% across the country. It's because it's common sense. The American people want a sovereign nation. They understand that voter ID is common sense to vote. They want only American citizens to vote in American elections, and this legislation does that. And the Save America Act is now headed to the Senate, and we certainly hope that the Senate will take it up in good faith, put it on the floor, and have a robust debate. Make the greatest deliberative body a great deliberative body again. Go to the floor of the Senate and take this up. I want to see people who want to oppose it go to the floor of the Senate and try to explain to the American people why they wouldn't support this common sense legislation. I want to thank the Speaker. I want to thank Chairman Stile. I want to thank all of the leadership team here, but I want to give a special shout out and thanks to the groups and all of my friends here, but particularly Cleta Mitchell, without whom we wouldn't have been able to get this drafted in the first place and get this bill across the finish line here in the House. So with all of that, I appreciate it, and I'll turn it over to our great leader, Steve Scalise.